Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz. Jack and Letty are still back in Lake Jackson because COVID and trying to keep distance stuff. And I'm not in the house of echoes, man. I'm back in my titty little apartment kitchen. But I promised I was going to do this one, man. I really want to get it done. It looks complicated, but it's Texas, so we got to get it done. It's October. Before we do that, be sure to like, share, subscribe to all the YouTube stuff. You know how it is. And let's get into it, man. Holy crap, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's break it down. You're going to need some ground beef. The cheapest you get, the more oil you're going to need. Like, get you a little bit of olive oil if you got the 90% something. You're going to need 2 cloves, so we're going to use 5 because we can. You're going to need 1 bell pepper. I got the orange one just because of the color. You're going to need 1 of these yellow onions, right? And that's all you're really going to need for your vegetable side. The rest of this is seasoning stuff, so you're going to need some brown sugar, which is going to be 1.5 tablespoons, and you're going to need some wish dish here. All right, look, you're going to need 1.5 teaspoon of the wiggy woo there, that stuff. You're going to need some tomato sauce and some tomato paste. Just 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste, and then 1 can of the fire roasted diced tomatoes and stuff. And some beef broth. You're going to need 3 cups of this stuff here. And the rest of this is all seasoning, so we're going to get into that. Okay, so we're going to break this down slowly. You're going to need some of the oregano, 1 bay leaf, right? The cumin. You got to have cumin. You got to need some paprika and some chili powder because that's going to need a little bit of salt and pepper. And that's going to be the taste of the salt and pepper. So let's get into that. First things first, wash your vegetables. All right, you got those nice and scrubbed. Let's get a nice sharp knife. Andy sent me this one, and I've kind of learned not to cut off my fingers, right? So pull your stems out and try to get all the seeds and veins out of this thing, right? So it's a pain in the neck. I get it, but you don't want to leave that stuff in there. It's just a weird bitter flavor, man. So whatever. So I'm going to show you quick how to slice these up. Just do it at an angle. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Like this is the speed through the camera, man. I didn't do this. Then go back over it, and you're just going to put it in like small cubes. You can leave it long strings if you want to. I just not in my chili, so I usually try to cut it down a little bit smaller. Same thing with the onion. Don't want this root thing. So just go ahead and cut that off, and then pull off this hard fucking skin, the onion skin that's on here, man. It's good for paper. It's bad for eating, man. So just go ahead and pull that off as best you can. You get it down to where it's tender. If it's still got a thin layer, it's kind of tough. Go ahead and pull that off too. Now the sad part is you got to cut off the little nipple, like just a little whoop, and cut that off. That's just where the rest of the skin is starting to harden out at the end. Okay, so then the same thing here. You want to dice this down as best you can. So just go ahead and cut it in half. Just cut it real nice and thin this way, and then back the other way, close enough to dice. I think this is more chopped. We'll have to do a class on that, man. Now, garlic, I'm going to show you this thing here. Okay, so you can just take your hand and just peel it off. It takes forever, unless you got the miracle of modern science and a camera to speed it up. This takes forever, and you get garlic under your nails, all that kind of stuff. Or you can take your flat of your knife, press it down till it cracks, crack, and it pulls that skin, right? It like makes it easier to grab, easier to peel, and it doesn't take quite as much modern science to make it go faster. So skin all your garlic you're going to use. Like I said, it's supposed to call for 2. We're doing it 5. Now just chop these up as best you can, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Once again, this is life. It's garlic, man. Garlic is life. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It's still going to be garlic. So chop it up as best you can, small as you can get it, big as you want, big lumps to it. I mean, it's raw garlic. It's going to be awesome. Be sure to get it off your blade too. And now take that, you can put it right with the rest of your vegetables. Just plate it off to one side, put it in a small plate, and you're done. Now, I got my big skillet here, mostly because, and doing it in one big pot, it's hard to see. So I got my one big skillet here, then we'll transfer it over to the big pot, because I don't have a rig to hang the camera from the ceiling in. So, first things first, get your hamburger. All right, I got the 73 stuff, so it's going to be real greasy, so I'm not going to use the olive oil. If you got the higher end stuff, go ahead and use like 2 tablespoons of olive oil to kind of help cook that around, because you're going to saute your vegetables in the same oil that comes off of this. You get the cheap stuff. This is how you're being cheap. You get the 73%. You're going to have that grease at the bottom of it. Boom. So go ahead and brown your meat. All right, just the bottom of your pot or in your skillet. Put the meat on the metal and make sure the pink turns brown. That's just how it works. You want to try to break it down into smaller chunks as it's cooking. You can break it down into smaller crumbles. You don't want big hunks of hamburger meat, especially if it's going to be stringy and stuck together like that. So once you brown it, go ahead and add your salt and pepper. I went ahead and add half a tablespoon of each. Personally, I go back and add a lot more pepper, but This is just for me and some other people, so I didn't want it super spicy. That's why I'm not adding like jalapenos or anything to it right now. Okay, so now it's decent and brown. Right, get you a bowl, matching bowl. Okay. Now get you a spoon or a slotted spoon and go ahead and scrape that out and put it out there. Use a slotted spoon is going to leave the grease. Right, get your meat to one side, get your grease here. So go ahead and saute your vegetables in the grease that's left from your burger or that olive oil that's still in there. All right, be sure to get it nice and coated. Saute it. It'll take 3 to 5 minutes. You want it to stir. It starts to get tender. All right, so just give it a nice stir every now and then. Don't want to sit it there. This equivalent of meat on the metal. Put the veg on the metal, I guess, until it starts cooking down. So once you get in here, so you're going to start with your chili powder, man. Go ahead and do 1 big tablespoon of the chili powder. Then your oregano, paprika, and cumin. You want to do 2 tablespoons each, right? Somebody once told me that they wanted to do 1 teaspoon. I didn't think it was enough. I wanted the stuff in this, so when I did on the stuff in the test kitchen, this is what we did. Worked out perfect. So go ahead and just do, the 2 tablespoons of each right away. Be sure to stir it around, get it all nice and stirred out. Now the tomato paste, I never understood this, but I got 2 big tablespoons of this and put it right in here while you're still cooking it down at the bottom. Stir it around, let that start to caramelize with the rest of it, okay? So, get it in here, like wooden spoon, plastic spoon, whatever kind of spoon you got. Stir it in there, it'll start to cook down. And this is when people come out of the rooms like, man, what are you cooking? It smells awesome with that garlic in there and, and all those spices. And it's like, dude, that smells good. This is when it starts to smell like chili. So I'm going to go ahead and swap it over to my big pot. See what I mean? Like I don't have a rig to show you the top-down view yet. So go ahead and scrape this in here. Now I'm going to show you as a way to get the last of this stuff. Go ahead and get your beef broth. And then pour that into your skillet, and it'll get the last of that stuff out of there, so you're not losing any of your spices or any of your meat juices and vegetable juices and stuff that's in there. And pour that right in the top with the rest of it. Okay, so you got all 3 cups of your beef broth in there. I don't like putting water in it. Some people can. Not a big fan, so I don't do it. Just put in your whole can of diced tomatoes, or the fire-roasted diced tomatoes, because yeah, that's good. Your tomato sauce. Go ahead and put the whole thing of tomato sauce. Not the tomato paste. That's only the 2 little ones. All right. Now you get your brown sugar, man. You want 1.5 teaspoons of brown sugar. And then your Worcestershire, whatever. 1.5 tablespoons of that too. Go ahead and mix that in there. Get it nice and covered. Now remember, you got your pot on. You want it about medium high. Add your 1 bay leaf. Just put 1. Just stick it right in there. Give it a nice stir. Now you're going to put it up. You want to get to a nice slow boil. All right, so go ahead and add your meat. So you want to get to a nice slow boil for about 30 minutes, right? So you want it about low to medium low. Get a little bit of a bubble, not like a rolling boil. But and stir it. I just set a timer, and every 10 minutes came in and stirred it. This is what it looks like after 30 minutes. So you want to do it for 30 minutes, put your cover on it, put a plate over it if you don't have a lid. Just let that sit. 30 minutes, stir it every 10. All right, this is what I'm talking about. This is what it looks like every 10. It's still watery, it's still chili, it's getting there. But then for the last 10 minutes, of the 40 you're going to do, right? 30 with it covered, 10 without it, and it's going to get down and get chili. Now get you some tongs or something and pull out your bay leaf after that. And then after you get your bay leaf out, let it sit for a minute because it's still going to be balls hot. Dress it with whatever you want. But this is chili. This is good. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This kind of hit us right at the high end of our budget, man, because we do everything under 10. But this made enough chili to feed me 4 times so far. You can make it and double it. You can make it bigger. You can make it watery. I grew up with a really watery chili, and I wasn't a giant fan of it. But this is a lot thicker. It's Texas chili. This is what we have. This is what we make. And you got to try this. And there you have it, guys. That awesome Texas no bean chili. If you have any problems about us not adding beans, put it down in the comments. Let us know how you do it. But I will refer you to Mr. Harold Thundervoice. He can set you straight on exactly why we do that here in Texas. And he's a good friend of mine. Look him up. I'll see if I can link him down the thing or not. If you do it differently, you'd like to see it done differently, any of that kind of stuff, put it down in the comments, man. Let us know. Comment your comment in the comments, as I've recently heard, which makes sense because that's what comments are for, right? You can let us know there. You can find us on our social media stuff at In Between Paychecks Kitchen That's on Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. Shout out to our patrons. Thank you very much. We couldn't do this without you. Not yet. At least we need more subscription stuff. So give us a share. We very much appreciate that. And you can find us on Instagram at Living Between there. And I'll see you next time, guys.